Your name?
Your Honor, Angela Yancey.
You take your hands out of your pockets, please.
I believe you're very much aware of what happened. Yes, I spoke with Ms. Lacy. It's my understanding that you have provided some information to Ms. Burton Harris, but we're kind of waiting on a disposition from Ms. Burton Harris, and we don't have that yet. We have no objections to kicking this out a few weeks. If it works in the court, I hope they have a resolution.
That is correct, Your Honor.
So you're winding further up the ladder.
I am.
I'm just saying, I'm sorry. Yes.
Got to do what I got to do for my client, Your Honor.
The 19th. Yeah.
That's fine. What, 12 o'clock ish? We'll find out.
Preliminary examination will be adjourned August 19th, 2025. That is at 12 noon, correct?
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is at 12 noon before me. Because I'm lucky. And continue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Court does call the case of the people versus Mark Hubbard.
And then on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Tanaza Carey on behalf of Mr. Mark Hubbard, who is approaching. Mr. Hubbard,
She left.
I'm still here, Judge. State your name for the record, Mr. Hubbard.
Mark Hubbard.
So I'm going to have you sign here.
And what are we doing?
Your Honor, this will be a waiver. He is signing the waiver form.
Counsel's aware. I don't have any information in this one. So we're probably going to need one printed. Yes, okay. Was there an amended complaint file?
Don't believe so, Your Honor. We only have the one in our file.
Okay. That may be why I don't have an information. We can correct it in a moment. Sir, you're waiving your right to preliminary examination? Yes. Yes. You understand that that's a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offenses alleged were committed and that you committed them. You understand that? You understand you'll not have that hearing today and you'll proceed to circuit court. All right. People also waive their right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to do it this way because as I understand the counts, defendant or preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is being bound over to circuit court on count 1, carjacking, count 2, unarmed robbery, count 3, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder by strangulation. And then, got it. There was no probable cause found on the requested count 4. And I think that's our right. So he's being bound over to circuit court on counts 1, 2, and 3 with the DV count 4 following. Your second ruling.
Yes, Your Honor, we do acknowledge receipt of the information. We waive formal reading, standing mute, asking the court to enter a not guilty plea on this behalf.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea as to all 4 counts. Pretrial in this matter will be set for
August 6th at 1:30 with Judge Conlon.
August 6, 2025, 1:30 before Judge Conlon.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. I said on the wrong one. Bond continue.
Thank you, Judge.
And
That earlier.
on that case, I'm gonna need an information for you to sign off on.
Will do, Your Honor.
Bless you. Court does call the case of the people versus Valerie Robinson.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ashley Lottie.
I don't know what he is. Bedroom is. Thank you, Helen.
Chief, can you ask if he's next door? Because they had a number.
Judge, Mr. Drugas is on the record in front of Judge Kunke at the moment. If the court would mind asking.
In front of Judge Kunke?
Yes.
Oh, he's here.
A flooded apartment ignites legal crossfire. Emergency access, disposal limits, and timing collide. Counsel spar. The judge orders coordinated county entry, supervised salvage, and urgent repairs to prevent escalating damage.
He is.
But he's
Yes, he's
zooming into their
Yes.
court, not looking to zoom here.
correct.
Okay. Ma'am,
Yes.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass your matter, well, hold on. Is that him making? No.
No.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass your matter. And as soon as your attorney is available, we'll get you back up, okay? Thank you. That was a short matter that we, what were we gonna do on that?
It's gonna be a dismissal.
Pardon?
That'll be a dismissal, sure.
Oh, it's gonna be a dismissal?
Yeah, I can't proceed.
Oh, ma'am, come back up. I'm not gonna hold you up. Mr. Drukas is in another courtroom. Do you have any objection to Ms. Akinruli right there, standing in for him so we can get this matter done?
No.
All right.
Your Honor, the matter of Valerie Robinson, National Line of the People, at this time, we were unable to proceed.
And Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Chinaza Carey-Akinruli, on behalf of Ms. Robinson, standing in for Mr. Drugas, Your Honor, we do move to dismiss this matter.
No objection.
All right. This case is dismissed. That is without prejudice,
Thank you.
people being unable to proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Robinson.
Thank you.
All right.
First one. It's 9 ounce and.
Well, how many witnesses?
I do not know.
All right. Are we ready to start holding? Is there anything else in here?
Yeah, he is.
All right, court does call the case, People State of Michigan versus Gamma.
I'm sorry, if you could just step outside one moment and I was gonna text her mom who would have come back inside.
Outside of the building?
Yes, just.
Okay, that's gonna take a minute. Give me another one. Court does call the case of the People versus DeAndre Weems.
Ally Sins, on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And Alex Warren, Grain on behalf of Mr. Weems. Mr. Weems is sitting on the bench right outside the courtroom. I will go retrieve him. We'll be right back. We're ready to proceed.
Why am I still staring at you? Go get him.
Your Honor, I need court permission.
You did? Huh? He did. He did wait. He was waiting for my permission?
Okay, John, we don't need to Jolly.
Yeah, I know. But we're, all right.
Mr. Weems, can you state your name for the court?
DeAndre Weems.
The defense is ready to proceed to examine, Your Honor.
You go right to proceed, Your Honor.
All right, have a seat. Let's go.
Your Honor, the people would first call Adrian Jennings to stand.
All right. And if you please come forward to be sworn.
Before you take a seat, raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Have a seat. State, spell your first and last name for the record, please.
May inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Jennings. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions, and if you need a break, feel free to let us know, okay? Ms. Jennings, do you know what DeAndre Weems? How do you know him? For about how long? Okay. And if you saw DeAndre Weems in the courtroom today, would you recognize him? Is he in the courtroom today?
All right, ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to speak up if you can for me, okay? All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. And can you briefly identify something he's wearing and where he's sitting in the courtroom? Your Honor, please let the record reflect that this witness has made an in-court identification of the defendant.
No objection. Record shall so reflect without objection.
All right, Ms. Jennings, I'm going to first direct your attention to June 1st of 2025. On that date, were you at 1474 West Liberty, apartment 2? And is that in the county of Washtenaw, state of Michigan? And on that date and at that location, did the defendant do anything to you that made you contact police?
I was assaulted and I contacted, I went to the hospital on the second, so I was on the way to work.
Okay, so let's kind of go through what happened when you say he assaulted you. So let's kind of start at the beginning. So what happened on the 1st that started everything?
So on the first, he came over, we came home from work around 3 o'clock. And the neighbor came over, that was going to start cutting his hair. And so they started hanging out and talking. And his neighbor brought over some tequila, they were drinking. And I thought it would be a good idea to have a cookout.
Okay.
So I went to the store and got some steaks and whatnot, and we fired up the grill. Destiny, his daughter, was there, and the neighbor had us 2 kids there. The kids were playing with the bowling machine and chalk and stuff outside. So after I returned, I began to grill the food and prep for dinner. And then after we didn't eat, the adults, we did not eat, the children all ate. And I started cleaning up all the kitchen and stuff and packing up the food that I had made. And I,
That's okay. If you need a moment, take a moment.
I started cleaning the dishes and wanted to take the trash out. After, and he would not allow me to go outside, he pushed me back inside.
And when you say he, are you referring to Mr. Weems? Okay, so he wouldn't allow you to go back outside. Okay, and what happened next?
He pushed me inside and he pushed the door.
And when you say he pushed you, how did he push you?
He pushed me with his body. And so I go back inside, I just set the trash down, I finished, Dusty came in, his daughter, and I got her ready for, in her pajamas, to get her ready for bed. And I could just tell that it was going to be a good night.
And what made you think that?
When he gestures and the way he talks, I know that I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I don't know what to expect, what kind of personality I'm going to get. So after I got Destiny in her pajamas.
Frustration peaks as counsel bicker. Judge Simpson snaps, demanding action.
Stop paperwork warfare, call county, schedule access, protect the unit, protect belongings, resolve it now, because delay multiplies risk and loss.
I then, went in and sat on the couch. I set her up in her room watching her little TV. And I went and sat on the couch and I waited for, the neighbor to leave, and for DeAndre to come inside.
Okay, so at this time you're in the house and DeAndre's outside the house? Okay, and then what happened next?
I turned on the news just to kind of grab my mind because I was just almost waiting for something, whatever was gonna happen. He came in and sat down next to me. And he was asking me, and he made me feel like I make him act a certain way. And I went to go get up and he told me to go get in the shower and to meet him in the bed naked. So I went in and I got in the shower. And after I got out of the shower, he came in and he pulled the towel off of me.
In the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay.
And told me to get into the room. Well, I went into the room. And he went in then to sleep next to Destiny. And he yelled at me and told me that her diaper hadn't changed. So I went to put my nightgown to look here for her. And I went into the room and he yelled at me and told me that I wasn't wearing clothes and to go put some clothes on, so to go put on some pants. And he followed me at this point, switching conversations, saying that I needed to come clean the patio.
So this occurred from, sorry to interrupt, he followed you, you were in Destiny's room and then went back to your room to change. Okay, and then what happened?
And throughout, he then shoved me into the room and closed the bedroom door.
And when you say shoved, how did he shove you?
With his body. He pushed and shoved me in, and then he closed the door.
And then what happened?
Then he grabbed my nightgown, pulled it, and tore it off of me. And I fell on my knee at this point, and I thought I had broken my knee. So bad, she didn't go up to my hip.
Okay.
Then he pulled me up and he laid me on the bed on my back and he slapped 5 times in my face.
And was that with an open hand? Okay. If you need a moment, take a moment.
And then he looked me over and I was exposed. And he was trying to take his pants off and I asked him if he's gonna rape me. He said, no, at that point I kind of pushed him away and I got up on the bed trying to cover myself up. He then grabbed one of his tablet, Destiny's tablet that she uses to play games on, and started taking unsolicited pictures of me, unwanted pictures. And then he grabbed his phone and started taking pictures and saying I'm too fatty, he doesn't even want to have sex with me anyway. Then I tried to crawl away and I scooted to the edge of the bed. And that's when he hit me, punched me in the face and busted my lip open. I tried to cover up my head and he hit me 3 or 4 more times.
And did he hit you with a closed fist that time?
Yeah.
And then what happened next?
And then I started trying to strangle because then they turned the lights off by this point and I couldn't see what my clothes were. I was trying to close, and he kept saying, I'm just gonna call the police because you did this to me, you did this to me. And I said, call the police, I need help, I called the police, I don't.
But at this point, you're still in the bedroom? Okay.
Scrambled to my clothes. I found a t-shirt and a pair of jeans and I put them on. I did not even have a bra on or any shoes. And I got up and by this point he had walked out into the hallway and Destiny was standing there.
In the hallway?
In the hallway, crying. So I go to go down the hallway and he leads me to it and grabs my keys off of the kitchen table. And he wouldn't let me have the keys. And at that point, I went outside, I grabbed my work bag, because I needed my work bag.
Mhm.
I didn't have any shoes on, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna call the police if you don't give me my keys, because I wanna go home. I really do.
Okay. And he wouldn't let you have the keys?
He gave them to me after I attempted to call 911.
Okay. Your Honor, may I have one moment? Thank you. And Your Honor, nothing further from the people for this witness at this time.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Jennings, and same goes for my questions. If you need a minute, please let me know and I'll give you a minute, okay? My name's Alex Warren Green. I represent Mr. Weems in this matter. Ms. Jennings, on June 2nd of this year, you talked to an Ann Arbor police officer, right? Okay. When you talked to the Ann Arbor police officer, that was at your place of employment, right? And you talked to that police officer about an assault you said took place on June 1st, is that right? Going back to this was at your place of employment, how are you employed?
I am a paramedic for University of Toledo, or I also work there too. I have University of Michigan Hospital.
So this was at the University of Michigan Hospital. Okay. And when you were interviewed, there was a person with you, right?
My mother and Sean.
So the person who was sitting next to you during that interview, that was your mother?
I did have my mother and I also had a coworker.
Okay.
And I believe a social worker.
Okay. Are you having trouble remembering who was with you when you were interviewed?
I know that a coworker had come in. I do know my mother had arrived a little later.
Ms. Jennings, would it refresh your recollection if I showed you a picture of the interview? Okay. Your Honor, may I approach witness? You may. Thank you. Ms. Jennings, can you just tell me if that refreshes your memory?
That's my mother, yes.
So that refreshed your recollection?
Yeah.
Would you mind stating and spelling her name for the court?
Tina Snyder, Tina, Snyder, Zei, Tom, ER.
Thank you. Okay. So during that interview, you showed the police officer a number of pictures you had on your phone, right? And I'm sorry, just to remind you to keep your voice up a little bit. Thank you. The police officer, he didn't take any pictures himself, did he?
No, but he had his body cam on it. And the doctors also took pictures.
Okay. And the photos you showed the officer, you had visible injuries in those pictures, right? Injuries to your mouth, your hands, and your chest are visible in those pictures, right? When you talk to the police officer, like you said, he didn't take any pictures, and that's because you can.
Tenants plea for time, citing illness, layoffs, childcare. Landlords press for possession and swift enforcement. The court walks a razor's edge, balancing hardship against contracts, insisting on plans, payments, dates.
See any of those injuries, isn't that right? So when you talk to the police officer, there were injuries on your hands, is that right?
Yeah, I have some.
Okay. And there was injury to your mouth, your lip area. And there were injuries on your chest right here, right? Okay. So going back to June 1st, the day before, you, on direct examination, you told us there was a dispute about the car keys, right?
He was not going to give me my car keys for me. That's what you're referring to.
You never told the police that he took your car keys, did you?
Give all the information.
And on direct examination, Ms. Jennings, you told us that he took some illicit or explicit, I can't remember your words, but he took some pictures of you without your permission. You said that, right?
Picture.
And those pictures, you never provided those pictures to the police. You never. Okay. Destiny is, and they're on her tab. Okay. At this time, you were living with Mr. Weems and Destiny?
I was living there in and just stay there throughout the week on occasions. They work at University of Michigan.
And as far as you're aware, the police never looked at Destiny's tablet, never looked at his phone, right? Okay. So being employed in healthcare and being interviewed at your place of work, you were wearing like scrubs, right?
I did not work that day. I did not walk. I put weight on my left leg. And I was afraid that my knee was broken.
Did you put makeup on to cover the injuries?
I have a lot of previous times that he has injured me.
Do you remember this day telling the police that you put makeup on to?
I'm pretending I'm going to work, but I could not walk.
Okay. As a healthcare worker, you wash your hands a lot, right? Your Honor, I have nothing further for this witness. Thank you.
Pardon?
I have nothing further at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Redirect.
Just briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Jennings, on cross, you mentioned you had injuries. What injuries did you have?
I have still a scar from him hitting me in the face. And I had injuries to my chest, bruising from when he tore off my nightgown. I had injuries to my inner arm from when he grabbed me. I had injuries to my hands. When I fell down, I had scraped them on the carpeting. My knee was badly injured with a rubber.
And you took photos of these injuries? And did you provide those photos to police? Your Honor, may I approach the witness people's proposed exhibits 1 through 7?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Jennings, what did I just hand you?
Pictures of myself and my injuries.
And are these fair and accurate representations of the injuries you received from this assault from Mr. Weems?
Yes.
And Your Honor, the people would move to admit people's proposed exhibits 1 through 7.
No objection.
Exhibits 1 through 7 are admitted.
And Your Honor, may be published to the court.
Yes.
And nothing further for this witness from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense.
Moment name I may have. Just a question, where were you when you took these pictures?
The one initially was in my car, and then when I got home, 'cause I didn't know how bad I was hurt when I got home. I was in my bathroom.
In Toledo?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so the one where you have blood running down your face, that one was in your car?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the others were taken down in Toledo. All right, thank you. Any questions based upon the court's question?
None from the people, Your Honor.
And none from the defense.
All right, you may step down, ma'am. Thank you.
Your Honor, the people have no further witnesses.
Any witnesses for the defense?
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would call Officer Coles. I believe he is present in the courtroom.
All right. Okay. Sir, please come forward and be sworn.
Take a seat, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? See, state, spell your first and last name for the record, please.
First name is Matthew, L-A-T-T-H-E-W. Last name is Coles, K-O-H-L-S.
You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. And at this time, Officer Coles is a witness identified with the prosecution. I would ask the court leave to ask leading questions on direct examination.
When I hear an objection, then I'll rule on that. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Coles, my name is Alex Warren Green. I represent Mr. Weems in this matter. Officer Coles, on June 2nd of this year, you were investigating allegations from an alleged domestic assault.
One payment short, and eviction clock keeps ticking. Redemption amounts grow. Assistance caps loom. Noon deadlines decide futures. Pay in full, prove it, or prepare for movers and sheriff's writ.
That occurred on June 1st, right? And you interviewed Ms. Jennings on that date, right? You've investigated domestic violence cases before? And when you're investigating a domestic violence case, you follow a standard protocol, right? Separate the parties and you perform interviews, right? And here, Ms. Jennings, she was with another person when you talked to her, right?
Objection, Your Honor, let's leave.
I'll overrule it. I don't know what to. Go ahead.
Through your investigation, did you identify that person as the person who called 911? Not Ms. Jennings, the person with her. Was it your understanding that was the person who called 911? Do you have any reason to dispute that she was the person who called 911?
No.
Did you ever consider that person an eyewitness in your investigation?
No.
And to your knowledge, who was that person?
Lady that was with her was man,
So kind of moving forward with the protocol you follow in domestic violence cases, one of the things you want to do is you want to take photographs of the alleged victim, right?
Yeah.
And that helps you document and memorialize the presence or absence of injuries, right? And you want to do that as close to the alleged incident as possible because injuries fade over time, right? And you didn't do that here. You didn't take any photographs as part of your investigation here, did you?
Can I get something clear? I guess. Did this officer show up on the scene?
Your Honor, Officer Coles, my understanding is he interviewed the complainant the following day.
Okay. All right, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you didn't take photographs of Miss Jennings at that time, but she provided you photographs that were saved on her phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. That was an iPhone. And you're aware that one feature on the iPhone is that it creates a date and timestamp on the picture, right? Automatically. And that date and timestamp is absent from the photographs you provided to the prosecution and to the defense here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Were the photos that were presented to you, did they have a date and time stamp on them?
The photos that were provided to me, the way that they were provided, so she gave me her phone. I looked at them, they had date timestamps on them, but I sent them over to me that did not bring the timestamp over.
Got it. Okay.
You were on your body worn camera, right?
Okay.
And she handed you her phone, right?
Okay.
And when you looked at those pictures, you could see the date and timestamp on them, right?
Sir.
Okay. But when you're following your domestic violence investigation protocol, another thing you do is you want to create a supplemental report, right? Create a supplemental report, right? And that includes a lethality assessment, right? Okay. And you did that in this case, right? You didn't observe any visible injuries when you interviewed Miss Jennings. Isn't that's correct, right?
That's not the report. I'm not sure.
Did you observe any visible injuries when you interviewed Miss Jennings?
This was among class refreshment.
Would it refresh your recollection to review your domestic violence supplemental report? Yes?
Yeah. Okay.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness? Thank you. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. Officer, do you recognize that as the domestic violence supplemental report completed in this case? Will you let me know if that refreshes your recollection as to whether you observed visible injuries at the time you interviewed Ms. Jennings?
And Your Honor, I would ask that he be allowed to review his entire report and not just the lethality assessment that's attached at the end of the report.
I have no objection, Your Honor.
Now somebody gonna give him,
He has it before him.
the whole report?
Yes.
Confusion swirls over notices, health hazards, and statutory timing. Defense cites precedent, plaintiff presses urgency. Judge refocuses on steps, coordinate access, salvage safely, and stop damage before costs explode quickly.
Is your recollection refreshed? Your recollection, that did not refresh your recollection. Officer, when you completed your domestic violence supplemental report and lethality assessment in this case, there are a number of boxes, each of which describes a particular injury, correct? When you complete any lethality assessment in any investigation, there are a number of check boxes that describe a particular injury, right?
Yes.
Okay. In this case, you didn't check any of those boxes, did you? Okay. Officer Coles, when you interviewed Ms. Jennings in this case, you were wearing your body-worn camera, right? And it was recording, right? Your Honor, may I approach the witness with what has been pre-marked as defendant 1?
What is that?
It's a still frame from the officer's body-worn camera.
Any objection? I mean, I don't, it's defense 1, but I don't know where it came from.
Your Honor, at this point, I would have no objection to the still of the body.
No objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you. Officer Coles, what are you looking at?
Still image of, other.
Does it have a date and time stamp on it? What is that date and time?
It's the June 2nd.
Has it been altered or modified in any way?
My recollection, or that was my knowledge.
It's a true and accurate depiction of your body-worn camera on June 2nd, 2025 at 21:11 hours and 26 seconds.
I don't know how he's gonna be able to say that without some indication as to where the still came from. I mean, there has to be more foundation than that. You're asking him to authenticate what effectively would be a slide within a reel.
Sure. Officer, do you recognize anyone in that picture?
I recognize the victim and the father.
Is that your recollection of your observations on June 2nd, 2025?
Yes.
Does it appear to have been altered or modified in any way?
It would have had to have been. If it's taken from a video, it has to be altered. So the question that you've asked the officer is unfair.
Is that a true and accurate depiction of a still frame from your body-worn camera?
Is there an objection?
Your Honor, at this point, I'm going to object. I don't think he can properly say that this is a still, as he's not the one who took the still. It would rather have to come from his actual body-worn footage that he provided in our discovery, Your Honor. So at this point, I'll be objecting due to lack of foundation.
Your Honor, may I retrieve my proposed exhibit?
Did you have a response to the objection?
Your Honor, I believe he can authenticate this.
How can he authenticate it? You took something from something else. he would first of all have had to have seen that. I don't know how he authenticates it. You haven't asked enough questions for him to be able to authenticate it. So yes, you may approach and get your exhibit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, if I may.
Families beg for extensions, citing hospital stays, new jobs, and childcare gaps. Judge Simpson answers with compassion. Extensions require payments, dates, and documentation. Without, momentum favors possession and landlord's remedies.
Officer, you acknowledge you were wearing the body worn camera. It was recording on June 2nd when you interviewed Ms. Jennings, right? Yes. Okay. Have you reviewed that before your testimony today?
Only reviewed it once when I was making a report.
That was when?
I was making a report.
Back in June? So you didn't review it before today? Right before just one. All right. That's probably why you can't authenticate your picture. But go ahead with your next question.
Your Honor, may I approach with the body worn camera footage? This would be defendant's one. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any objection?
Not at this point, Your Honor, I believe.
Go ahead.
Officer, I'm going to show you the beginning of this. You can skip around anywhere you want, okay? Your Honor, for the record, I've shown this to the prosecution, was provided a discovery. I'm going to skip to 9 minutes and 32 seconds unless there's an objection.
Your Honor, at this point, I'm gonna object at this point, as I don't believe the proper foundation that this is a fair and accurate representation of this body camera has been met. What is being shown?
I'm trying to lay a foundation here.
I wish you'd hurry up. Go ahead. Try to lay your foundation.
Officer, I was skipping around in that body worn camera video, right? Yes, you're skipping around. At random? Yes. Did it appear to have been altered or modified in any way? Skipping around. Did you recognize that as your body worn camera footage from June 2nd, 2025, when you interviewed Ms. Jennings? Okay. Your Honor, at this point, I would move to admit.
I can't, go ahead. Yeah, response?
No objection, Your Honor.
I just don't know why we went through all of that. The body cam that came over in discovery was attached to this officer, right?
It was, Your Honor.
Then why wasn't there just a stipulation that that's his body cam? I don't understand why I just went through the last 10 minutes that I went through.
Your Honor, I'm offering it for a very limited purpose.
I don't care why you're offering it. I just spent all this time trying to authenticate. It makes no sense. You're moving its admission,
I am, Your Honor.
which we could have done 10 minutes ago. No objection?
No, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
Your Honor, may I publish to the court?
Yes, you may.
If I plug into this.
Am I gonna watch the whole thing?
No, you are not, Your Honor.
Better watch your mouth.
I'm not going to, Your Honor. I apologize.
Go ahead, give me the screen.
Yes, it's.
If there's no objection, Your Honor, I would ask to move to the 2-minute and 20-second mark.
Any objection? All right.
And I'm pausing at the 2-minute and 36-second mark. Officer, that's Miss Jennings, right?
The female on the right.
Okay. Miss Jennings appears to have a blanket or a towel of some sort around her shoulders, right? You can see her left hand, right?
Yeah.
There are no injuries on her left hand. I'm continuing playing at the 2-minute and 36-second mark. And I'm pausing at the 2-minute and 42-second mark. Officer, you can see Miss Jennings' right hand, right? Are there any visible injuries? Officer, you wear the body worn camera in the center of your chest because it kind of sees what you see, right? Sure. But what you look at, the body worn camera kind of looks at too, right? Sure. When you were interviewing Miss Jennings, you were looking at Miss Jennings, right?
Yeah.
Your view was unobstructed, right? Sure. But your view, your eyes were never obstructed by anything, were they? Okay. And you didn't observe any injuries, did you?
I was mainly trying to listen to what she said. She was giving me her statement.
Your Honor, if there's no objection, I'd ask to move forward a little bit.
No objection.
Go ahead.
Officer, I'm pausing at the 8-minute and 44-second mark. You can see her arms, right? Yeah. She's holding them up by her head. Are there any injuries to the back of her arms?
I can't.
I'm resuming at the 8-minute and 45-second mark. And I'm pausing at the 9-minute and 1-second mark. Officer, you can see her full face, right? Well, let me move forward a little.
You know you hit me really good right here. On the center of my face, and I was like this, and the look even over here.
At the 9 minute and 8 second mark, you can see her full face, right? Can you see any injuries to her face?
Hard to see from this, makeup in this video.
So you don't see any, right?
That-
Officer, you interviewed Mr. Weems, right? You weren't wearing your body worn camera when you did that, were you? It wasn't activated though?
Due to our policy, usually have a bond in the back of the security room.
So your policy as an officer of the Ann Arbor Police Department is not to record interviews with suspects.
Objection, Your Honor, that's not what he said.
Yes, I agree.
As a matter of policy, in this case, you didn't activate your body worn camera to record your interview with Mr. Weems.
Objection, Your Honor, I don't believe that's what he said.
That isn't what he said. Try again.
You interviewed Mr. Weems in this case, right? And it was not recorded in any way, was it? We need a verbal answer. Officer Coles, to your knowledge, is there any recording of any interview with any person other than Ms. Jennings in this case?
I did an interview with Mr. Williams.
Okay, was it recorded?
I would have to look at my axon and see.
Thank you, Officer. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Any direct or cross second?
Just briefly, Your Honor.
Officer Coles, isn't it true that in your report you did say that Ms. Jennings had obtained bruises and abrasions in the body of your report? Would it refresh your recollection to review your report? Your Honor, may I approach this witness?
You may.
Recollections refresh.
And did that refresh your recollection?
That refreshed my recollection from when she told me and from that dated the pictures.
So it is true you put that she obtained bruises and abrasions?
Okay.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Sir, thank you. You may step down.
Thank you.
Any additional witnesses for the defense?
None from the defense, Your Honor.
Any rebuttal from the people?
No, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion?
At this time, Your Honor, people would ask that the defendant be bound over as charged. I apologize, Your Honor. You heard from Ms. Jennings about the assault that occurred at 147 West Liberty, in which the defendant had been drinking, became agitated, and through the course of the night began to get aggressive with Ms. Jennings. You heard her say that he had slapped her in the face with an open hand, punched her in the head with closed fists. You also heard that she had been almost pinned inside the bedroom due to him blocking the doorway and not letting her leave. You also heard from her how he took photos of her while she was vulnerable and exposed, and that their daughter was present. You also saw the injuries that she received from the assault from Mr. Weems, and I believe that that's our probable cause burden for domestic violence third offense, and ask that he be bound over as charged, Your Honor.
Response.
Your Honor, I don't have much to add to the record at this time. In making the probable cause determination, I would just ask the court to pass judgment on the credibility of witnesses, the weight and the competency of the evidence. I'm citing People v. King 412 Mich 145. Your Honor, for the record, we would object. I appreciate the opportunity to be heard.
The court has listened to the testimony in this case. Listen to Ms. Jennings. She was she was absolutely precise about what had transpired to her, down to the point of saying that at some point she's in the dark trying to figure out her clothes or where her clothes are, trying to get herself out. Then when looking at people's exhibits 1 through 7, what is clear is that on that date that she took these photographs, that she had significant injuries to her lip, as she had testified to the front part of what would be the sort of left side of her chest. You can see scratch marks, and you can see that to the left side and to the middle of her chest. There are her arms, and there are indeed marks on her hands. And then the falling to the ground that she described, which also prevented her from going to work, certainly can be seen in, I believe it would be People's Exhibit 6, in terms of the injury to her knee. And looking at all of that, and the court having evidence of the defendant's prior convictions, court does believe that the people have indeed sustained their burden, and the defendant is bound over to stand trial on domestic violence. Third.
Your Honor, we acknowledge receipt of the information, waive its reading and stand mute.
And then having waived former reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial in this matter will be set for
September 11th at 1:30 with Judge Slay.
September 11, 2025, 1:30 before Judge Slay. Are there any issues regarding bond?
Your Honor, given the testimony from Ms. Jennings, I believe in this case, the defendant's bond was set at a PR. At this time, the people would be re-requesting our original amount of $50,000 cash surety. Just given the facts of this case and the defendant's previous history of the 2004 DV conviction, 2008 FA DV second, a dismissed DV third case from 2012, 2022 case of an R&O, and then a dismissed 22 case for possession of a weapon by a felon, ammo possession by a felon, and felony firearm. I have concerns, given especially the fact that Ms. Jennings did come here today and testify for her safety, given the facts of this case and what happened in the defendant's history. So at this point, we would be re-requesting our original amount of $50,000 cash surety, Your Honor.
Response.
Your Honor, Mr. Weems has been out of custody since the time of arraignment. He has had no violations of bond. He's employed. He's not violating any laws or anything like that. He's come to all of his court dates. The information that was presented at this preliminary examination was known to the magistrate at the time bond was set. I don't believe anything outside of what is contained in the discovery was brought up during this preliminary examination. So, Your Honor, we would ask that this court continue bond. I don't believe Mr. Weems is a flight risk, and I don't believe he presents a danger to the community.
Well, I don't necessarily view or have any evidence that the defendant may be a flight risk. I do have some concern about the defendant being a significant danger to the community and posing a danger to the community. One of the things, and it was rather interesting but subtle in terms of what Ms. Jennings said, is that she understood what was gonna be coming at her. She actually put it very succinctly that she understood all of the signs that were going to happen before, quite frankly, the beating was going to take place. I think the defendant's likelihood of conviction case is significantly high, which is something the magistrate couldn't take into account. I also, to the extent that the magistrate heard all of this and saw all of this, then I think the bond set at arraignment was an abuse of discretion. But I don't think the magistrate saw all of that in what the court saw and heard today. So the court, believing the defendant to be a significant risk to the community, defendant's bond is hereby ordered changed. His bond will be set in the amount of $35,000 cash surety. Defendant's remand.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
He needs a different date since he's in custody. You need the in custody date before Judge Slick.
The exam was held.
Oh, his date is the same. Okay. September 11th. Yes. You need. I'm gonna take a quick, Mr. Johnson's back. Where are they down or are they still
Just
up?
on the TV. I just have to let Flint know.
Okay, do they need to be brought? You're gonna bring him that way? Okay, let me take a brief recess then and
Do you want me to start that?
start that process. Get back. Where's Mr. Court's gonna stay in a brief recess. Where's Mr. Jones?
I think he just was using the restroom.
Oh, okay. All right.